Was $3,600 the bottom? Or we're gonna hit a crypto nuclear winter like we did in 2015? So I'm just gonna kind of tell you my thoughts on the whole situation. At the end of the day, we don't know where the bottom is, but I'm gonna assume that 3,600 was the bottom. And here's the way I'm gonna approach that. Not that I'm necessarily stacking Bitcoins at this point, but I'm looking for opportunities in the altcoin market. Like the other night, EOS actually fell to $2.80. It was like 1 a.m. I was able to get in my Kraken account, buy 750 more EOS, keep stacking that. Now that's above, I was buying between 50 cents and $1 back last year during the ICO stage. And that is above my cost average to get it at $2.80, but you know, I'm stacking more, I'm stacking more, I'm stacking more. And at this point, it's actually a lot less risky because it's a lot harder on coin market cap. So when I was stacking at 50 cents to $1, it was actually down at like 25 or 30th position on coin market cap. Now it's in 5th or 6th position. It keeps kind of going back and forth with Stellar. And basically, I'm just looking for the opportunities in the altcoin market. Now, it could, you know, let's say that is the bottom. A lot of people are trying to go off of the 200-day moving average. A lot of people are trying to go off of the RSI, all that kind of stuff. At the end of the day, any kind of technical analysis is a pseudoscience. That isn't going to give you a definitive answer. And I can tell you why, for one, is, first of all, in even this, you know, let's say the stock market, something where everybody's trading on the same market and not all these like separated exchanges with like separated pools of liquidity and all that kind of stuff, is still never going to be a definitive thing. I'm a fundamentalist first and foremost, so I try to look at the fundamentals of these kind of projects, and that's in the stock and option market as well. But nobody could have predicted the cliff that we fell off of in November. I mean, Bitcoin lost like 40% of its value in November. And nobody could have done any kind of technical analysis, no RSI, no moving averages, no nothing, to literally fall off a cliff. So nobody could predict that. At the end of the day, I am prepared either way, that either this was the bottom. I'm looking for opportunities in the altcoin market. I have slowed down my buys a little bit. There for a while, I was doing like $500 a day in Uphold and doing other bigger orders in Coinbase and in Kraken. But at this point, I am going to assume that Bitcoin has bottomed at 3,600, even though I know that that probably is not the case. Nobody knows for sure. So it's too risky to bet one way or the other. The only reason I would think that we might go into a very long-term crypto nuclear winter is because of the sheer magnitude of scams that we saw in the ICO market this year, last year, this year and last year, and the year before, really. But there were so many ERC20 tokens and white papers that literally were written by people who had found out about crypto like 2 weeks prior. I mean, I would read some of this stuff and it was nonsensical. And I had a bunch of people sending me stuff, hey, what do you think about this? And I would read it and it made no sense. Like literally no sense. Useless Ethereum token. I kid you not. That is the name of the project. Useless Ethereum token. Raised like $70,000 worth of Ethereum. I mean, just silly stuff. So the sheer magnitude of those projects that did nothing, were scams, which is like 95% of them. That is just a tremendous weight on the market and way worse than what we saw in 2014, kind of the washout from 2014. See, once, I like to call it Dogecoin, the Canadians call it that, but Dogecoin, once that was successful, there were so many Litecoin clones popping out in 2013, 2014, that was the ultimate kind of weight on the market, that it was like, oh, this is getting I mean, there was literally a coin called shitcoin. Like, that was literally the name of the coin. And so, yeah, it got crazy then, but they couldn't perpetuate this stuff as long because they didn't have marketing budgets and all that kind of stuff. And people, yeah, people made some money for sure, but it wasn't to the magnitude that we saw in this last run up with these ERC20 tokens. And not just ERC20 tokens, other tokens on other networks like Neo. You gotta understand this is a world market. So you had stuff popping up on Neo, you had tokens being issued over on Waves, other platforms, NXT, all these other things. I mean, you can issue tokens on Komodo, but you know, obviously the most popular was Ethereum. So I think the sheer magnitude and the amount of scams that were perpetuated through the ERC20 tokens and the crowdfunding done on Ethereum will weigh heavy on Ethereum, which, you know, being on major fiat gateways and you know, most of the altcoin exchanges having markets, you know, with Ethereum and stuff like that, that's obviously going to weigh heavy, and it's obviously taking a big hit. But I guess we can't necessarily rule out the possibility that Bitcoin could fall further than the 85% that we saw in the 2014, 2015 kind of blow off. Just from the fact that this thing got so big and the numbers got so much bigger that the higher it goes, the further it could fall, kind of thing. And then it's like, how much further along are we? In some respects, we are further along. We do have the fastest blockchains ever at this point. EOS was half-second blocks. Those are clearly faster blockchains. So in 2014, 2015, we had no blockchains that had no fees and instant transactions. Those didn't exist. That didn't really come, well, okay, 2014, you can say like BitShares came about, 3-second blocks, and for all practical purposes, you somewhat had that at that point in 2014, but that was kind of like after things started kind of like a downslope. You know, it wasn't till 2017 where they really kind of surged up. I mean, BitShares was on Skid Row, like just as far as the price, there was a really long tail through 2015, 2016 and all that stuff. And then Steam came out in 2016. So then you had that, and you had a huge pump. The thing went clear up to, you know, $4 at that point, and then blew off 98% of its value. So we could be going into a crypto nuclear winter, and right now it is starting to rain, guys. But at the end of the day, I'm going to act as if we have reached the bottom at 3,600, and I'm going to look for opportunities in the altcoin market first and foremost. Zcash, I'm going to wait a little bit longer because there was some initial hype that it got added to Coinbase Pro. But keep looking for opportunities. What coins are you guys buying? Follow me on all social media, @BrianPhobos, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Steam it. See you guys later.